In this video, we will show you how to replace your rear brakes, pads, and rotors on this Nissan Maxima. This will be located behind your rear wheel. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we need to do is safely raise and support the rear of the vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. After completing that, remove all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts and we can get the wheel off of here. Now that we have the wheel out of the way, we have a clear view of our rear brakes. Before we start disassembling anything, we want to make sure we push back our caliper piston. To do that, I'm going to use a small prying device directly in between this slot of the caliper, and what I'm trying to feel for is either the brake pad or the brake rotor inside this area so we can pry up against it. Now that we have movement from this area, we can continue on to removing our 2 caliper slider mounting bolts. Now that we have the caliper piston pushed back, the next thing we're going to do is look along the backside here. This is where we can see our 2 caliper slider pins. We'll be using a 14mm to start removing these. Go ahead and remove the first one. Quick inspection, start it back in a couple threads. Now let's get the lower one out of here. For this one, I'm using a ratcheting wrench. You can tell that we do have a control arm that's going to be in the way. Now, as you can see, this lower slider pin does not pull out past this control arm, so what we're going to do is leave both of these loose, and we'll continue on to our 2 caliper bracket mounting bolts. Now, we'll be using a 19mm for each one of our 2 caliper bracket mounting bolts. I'm starting with the upper one. We'll fully remove it, and then we can start that back in a couple threads. That one looks good. With the first bolt started in, we can continue on to the second mounting bolt. Now for this one, there's a lot less room in this area, so I'm continuing on with a wrench. A close inspection of all of our hardware as we continue, replace as necessary. Let's start pulling this out of place. We'll rest it right up along the top. Now we're going to start disassembling the caliper. For that, we have our 2 slider pins. You can just go ahead and start removing those. A quick inspection as you continue on. Now, just a quick note about your caliper slider pins. If you were looking at the very end of it, the tip of the pin there, you're going to find that one of these slider pins does have a vibration dampener. You want to make sure you reinstall that in the same port during the installation process. Now we can start pulling the bracket away from the caliper. A quick inspection of the caliper, especially along where that caliper dust boot is. If you see any fluid in this area, that means that the steel internally on the caliper is bad and you have to replace that caliper. This one looks fine, we'll set it aside. Now let's continue on to our brake rotor. Typically you're going to find you have an adjustment port for your emergency brake shoes. It might have a rubber cover on it. If it does, you can go ahead and remove that. We're going to be reusing it. Continuing on, if your brake rotor is stuck in place, you're going to have to start tapping it off of here. Before you hit it with a hammer, use one of your original lug nuts. Start that right on there. There it is, friend. With the brake rotor out of the way, let's pay attention to our emergency brake shoes. You have 2 of these on each side of the vehicle, the rearward and the forward, and of course there's going to be mounting hardware. Go ahead and clean and inspect all of that. Clean your wheel bearing hub mating surface here. Use a wire brush if necessary. After you've cleaned that down, continue on with some anti-seize on that mating surface. Before we install the brake rotor, just have a quick look in between the upper portion of your 2 emergency brake shoes. You should find your adjuster. If the rotor was on here, we had that small port that I had told you to remove the rubber plug from. You could use a small pry bar, make your way straight through here, and this is where you would want to make your adjustment for the emergency brake shoes. You can either expand the shoes out or in as necessary. Let's get that brake rotor in place. With the rotor in place, it's time to make that adjustment. We're just using our prying device. Generally, I like to just press it in as far as possible and then start spinning the rotor till it feels as though it bottoms out. That's going to be where the adjuster is located. Now I'm turning the adjuster, and what I'm feeling for is a tiny bit of drag on this brake rotor that would be coming from the parking brake shoes. You don't want to have it tightened to the point you can't turn this at all, but you definitely don't want to have it so loose that it spins without anything touching at all. To adjust the shoes outward, we want to come in at an angle like this. We're going to grab onto that cog and start turning it downward. That adjusts the shoes outward. If I was to go this way, press in and pull like that, that adjusts them inward. Gotta find that adjuster. Now right there, I've got quite a bit of friction. Friction creates heat and we don't want the brakes to lock up on us, so we're just going to back this off a little bit. Perfect. At this point, you can reinstall your rubber protective plug. Now we're over on the bench with our caliper bracket. We're going to start removing our brake pads, tins, and caliper slider pin boots. For the inner brake pad, you want to pay attention to that. It should have a wear indicator, and that wear indicator is facing off towards one direction or the other, depending on which side of the vehicle you're working on. During the installation process for our new brake pads, we'll make sure the inboard pad has the wear indicator on the same exact side. The outer pad should not have a wear indicator. Move along to your caliper bracket tins. For these, typically you can pull them out of place with your fingers, or you can use a small prying device. We'll set those aside for recycling. Now, as far as the caliper slider boots are concerned, typically for these you can roll them right out of position. After you have them off of there, you want to go ahead and clean up the insides and give them a quick inspection, confirming they are not damaged in any way. To clean this out, I'm going to come through the smaller port here. We're using a clean rag, slide it straight on through. Now we'll just roll this around a little bit. As you can see, we're removing as much of that original grease and any miscellaneous debris as possible. We'll just make sure this is soft and pliable, not torn, worn, or damaged. This looks good. Set it aside, repeat the process. At this point, we've removed everything from the bracket we can. It's time to do some cleaning. We're going to use a wire brush along the 2 areas, one on each side of the bracket where we had our caliper bracket tins. For this, I'm just using a wire brush. Double check, especially inside of these grooves. This is where the brake pad will sit. We want to make sure we have no raised areas. Repeat the process on the other side of the bracket. Moving along, we're cleaning each one of our 2 caliper slider pin ports. We're using some parts cleaner for this. Just keep in mind when you spray in, fluid might make its way out as well. We'll do this from a distance at first. Parts cleaner and a bore brush. A quick rinse. The bracket's fully cleaned and inspected. We're going to add lubricant to each of the areas where those caliper bracket tins will sit. This will help with vibration dampening and noise reduction. When installing the tins, we just want to make sure we have them in the proper orientation. Line them up, press them in, a quick wiggle confirming they're secured. Repeat the process on the other side of the bracket. Let's add lubricant inside of each one of our caliper slider pin ports. Start getting a little bit in there. We will, of course, lubricate the slider pin itself as well. When lubricating this, we're trying to get along this area of the caliper bracket where the boot will sit. That'll help keep moisture out of the area. Once you have lubricant on there, continue on with that boot. We'll just line this up, give it a little wiggle, slide it into position. After that, just double check, make sure it's secured. We'll repeat the process on the other side of the bracket. Let's pause with the bracket. We're moving over towards the caliper with our high temperature lubricant. We'll use the lubricant directly on our caliper piston here and along the back side of each of these two ears, essentially in the areas that touch up against our brake pads. High temperature caliper lubricant on each one of our two caliper slider pins as well. There we are. We're making our way all the way up into the groove, closest towards where that threading is, not necessarily on the threaded portion though. Now the next portion is going to be a little bit of a balancing act. We're holding onto the bracket and we're going to start installing our two brake pads. As you remember, the inner brake pad did have the wear indicator. We want to have that in the proper placement. Now let's get the rest of the caliper together here. Swing this right up along the top. Should want to slide into position. You can squeeze those pads together if necessary. Now along the back side, we're going to install our two pins. It's time for our two caliper slider pins now. Remember the orientation as when you had removed them. Slide that one in. Just going to try to get it aligned. Now we'll snug each one of the caliper slider pins. These are easiest to torque when the caliper is mounted to the vehicle. Now we can get the caliper in place. We've cleaned the threads and applied some red thread locker to the threaded portion. As we bring the caliper close to this area, let's go ahead and start the caliper bolts through the caliper when we bring this over towards the bracket. We've prepared our caliper bracket bolts. We applied some red thread locker. Let's get this in position. Can start in both pieces of mounting hardware. We'll start at the bottom here. Let's get the upper one in there. The torque for each of these is 62 foot-pounds. The torque for each one of your two slider pins is 32 foot-pounds. One last quick inspection in this area, we can reinstall our wheel. Once you've started on all 5 of your 21mm lug nuts, we're going to bottom these out in a crisscross manner. We'll get the wheel back on the ground and torque each of the lug nuts to 83 foot-pounds. With the wheel safely on the ground, we'll torque these in a crisscross manner. Torqued. Okay friend, we showed you how to install one side of the rear brakes on your vehicle. Go over to the other side of the vehicle and repeat this exact same process. Once you've completed that, go ahead and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.